Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my July favorites video. I'm currently drowning in a pile of things I want to show you guys, so I am going to try to stay on track, on task, focused, one of those words. So hang out with me, I'm going to show you some of my favorite things. I have my handy dandy notes in my traveler's notebook, so let's just start with a random category and it's going to be food. So I only have two things to talk about, and as always it's usually beverages. I don't know why. Sometimes there's candy or popcorn like last month, which I will link up there if you're curious about my June favorites. But for this month I have a story to tell you. Oh, there's wind. Oh, it's lovely. See, I said I was gonna stay focused and that lasted like 10 seconds. Okay, I have a story to tell you about buttermint tea. So I don't know or fully remember where I first heard somebody talking about buttermint tea. It was obviously somebody in the UK, and I say obviously because buttermint tea is a type flavor of tea by Twinings of London, which is a tea company that is based in the UK, and so it's apparently fairly common to find this particular tea in the UK, but somebody somewhere mentioned it, and I love mint teas, and I was like, that sounds so delicious. And so somebody was talking about it somewhere. And ever since I'd first heard about it, anytime I would go into a grocery store, and we do have some here that have like a UK section, like a British food section, I would always look for this particular tea or anything that sounded even similar, and I could never find it. And then one day I was in the For Love of Cards Facebook group, which, shout out if you're not in that group, it's really fun. It's really bad if you're trying to curb your deck purchasing, but it's really good. Anyway, I was in there and the lovely Karen of Kaleidoscope Tarot made a comment, something along the lines of, she was one of the first people to mention it and it kind of became this thing, and I was like, oh my god, I've been trying to find it. And she's like, hey, I'll send you some. And I was like, okay. So the lovely Karen actually sent me some buttermint tea bags for me to try, as well as some other lovely things. She sent me some little charms and like a little quartz. Oh, the sweetest package, happy mail all the way around, and it was just really cool. I fell in love with the flavor of this tea, which I knew that I probably would, and so my search resumed. I did a little research and I found out that Twinings of London remarketed this particular flavor of tea under a different name to sell in North America. And it is the peppermint and creamy vanilla flavor tea. And I found out that this is the same because in the description on their website, while the name of the tea is peppermint and creamy vanilla, in the description it said, and enjoy a mug of delicious buttermint tea. And I was like, yes, this is the one. So I bought 2 boxes. I've got one more bag in the stash that Karen sent me to enjoy before I'm into my own stash. But I got this just in time. It arrived via Amazon Friday, and it's a Saturday that I'm recording this. So it was nick of time. But yum. If you like mint, it does taste like mint, creamy vanilla mint. But try it as I might, I could not find any other brand selling a vanilla mint tea. I'm sure it exists, but I haven't found one, so I'm really excited to have the real deal. So that's a favorite. Another food favorite is actually a beverage I can't show you because it's made from scratch. I should have taken a photo of the batch that I made, but I made a batch of golden milk. And this is a beverage inspired by my work with the Herb Crafters Tarot. Golden milk is a traditional drink from India, and it's very, very popular and very, very common. They will, traditionally Indian people would have a mug of hot milk with turmeric and other spices before bed because of the medicinal properties of turmeric, which they find beneficial. So I did some more digging on this, and everywhere I heard people talking about golden milk, they were like, this is delicious. And I did drink, you might remember from another previous favorites video, which I will link, it might even also still be June, May or June, I talked about drinking a turmeric tea, which I drank so that I could get over the end of my cold, which was horrible. So I knew I liked the flavor in beverages. So I did make an official like recipe of golden milk, and it was out of this world. I did learn a few things, like I used ground cinnamon in it instead of cinnamon sticks, so it was a little gritty, even though I strained it. But I learned some lessons, but it was delicious, and I will definitely be making it again. If I remember, I will post the recipe down below with the modifications I'm gonna make for my next batch. And yeah, Yummy, 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 yummy. Okay, let's do that trick again. I'm gonna just like close my eyes and like, boom. Okay, next is TV and movies. So there are two things that I wanted to talk about from July. The first is I am starting to get caught up with the family on Stranger Things. So I know a lot of you have talked about season 3 of Stranger Things, and we had watched, I think Peggy and I had watched all the way through at least most of season 2, but Steve hadn't watched it yet, so we are rewatching from season 1, and we're now up to the very, very first couple of episodes of season 3, and I'm really enjoying it. I probably just wasn't paying attention, I feel like, the first time I watched some of it, because it all seems new again, I don't know. But season 3 is exciting, and I'm really enjoying diving back in. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about was I went to go see the new live action, well, I guess you could call it live action version of The Lion King with a good friend of mine, and that was so much fun. As you know, I talked last month about going to see the live action Aladdin, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and pretty much I'm on board for all the Disney movies, whether they're animated or not animated, but Lion King was so good, and it brought back so many fantastic memories and sad memories because Disney likes to tug on the heartstrings, but I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to watch it again, and I will probably be making Peggy sit down and watch that with me as soon as possible. Yeah, so hopefully it'll come to Netflix because that would be awesome. So those are the TV and movie things. Let's do the finger trick again. And now I am on to memories. So my birthday was in July, and so I have some fun memories from my birthday. So we had a pretty laid back day, but Peggy did buy me the beautiful camera that you have been seeing this footage on, which I cannot show you because I'm currently using it, but it is a Canon EOS Rebel SL2, and I am loving it so much. I've got a lot to learn about it still, but I'm really enjoying the filming that I'm doing with it and the photographs I've been able to take with it, but it's bringing back all of those fun memories from high school photography class, and I'm just kind of geeking out on learning a bit more about it, and hopefully I'll be able to sort of level up my photography skills, such as they are. Although they'll probably only get so far because a lot of photography nowadays is in editing and post photography work, of which I have very little interest because I don't like editing, as you probably know from my video making, but we'll see. I might end up really enjoying it when it comes to photography. We'll see. That was a random side. I tried to stay focused, you guys, but it's not. Anyway, back to memories. We went to a really nice dinner. John came over, and John, Steve, Peggy, and I all went out to dinner. That was really nice. It was really chill, and that day, or that weekend I think it was, Peggy and I also took the new camera and we went out to a local park that has a turtle pond, and if I am not lazy, I will insert a couple photos around here of some of the shots I got of the sea turtles that live in this pond. Some of them are endangered, and it was just really nice to be able to get some clear pictures of them. I may also insert my rough attempt at a dragonfly silhouette photo, but we'll see. If I'm too lazy and you're still seeing my face, then you're still seeing my face. But I had fun, and that's the important bit. So let's see what category, did I have anything else? Oh no, that was the thing. Okay. Next finger. Now we're on to Magick. So this month, the funnest thing I think I did magically is I reworked my sacred spaces, or 2 of my sacred spaces. So I have behind me, where my finger is pointing, this is my reading table. I did not revamp that, so I'm pointing at it for no reason. But over here in this corner, and it's really hard to see in the background of this video, but I have a crystal altar, and I usually I have like my crystals stored in like bins underneath, like in a organize-y thingies, but on top I like to keep a couple of active crystal grids with active workings and for specific intentions. So I redid that entire space. I took everything off of it. I used Florida water to cleanse it. I used sage, I used sound and intent, and it was really a cool thing where I just took it all apart, and then I created 2 new workings, one for protection and one for love and joy and happiness and that sort of thing. So, but primarily love and fulfilling, emotional, like 9 of Cupsy kind of energy. And I did film that. I also filmed the reworking of my working altar, which lives behind where you see the camera, right where, not where you see the camera, there's me, and then behind the camera is my working altar, my main sort of seasonal change out space, and I changed that out. Very subtle changes. Mostly I took everything down, gave the space a very thorough physical clean, spiritual clean, and then put everything back and changed it up just a little tiny bit, reset my intentions for that space, and yeah, that was really, really fun. And I filmed the whole thing, and it took a little bit of editing, so it took me some time, and I'm not sure if it will be up on my channel by the time you see this video or if this video will go up first, but if it's up already, I'll put it up there, and if it's not up already, then watch for it, because it's coming, and I think I'm gonna call it something like Sacred Spaces Update or something. So that's a favorite. For Magic, that was probably the biggest thing that I did this month magically. What else do we have? Crystals. This one's an easy one because there's pretty much one that has stolen my heart this month, and it is from the Witch's Bounty box. And I'm sure you will not be surprised because I've been wearing it in basically, well, pretty much every day. I finally decided to give it a little rest, but it is this really gorgeous Angel Aura Quartz pendant that came in the Witch's Bounty box this month, and oh my gosh, you guys, this crystal is everything. It is so me. I wish I could describe to you just how perfect the energy of this crystal is for me personally. Angel Aura Quartz is clear quartz that has been treated with titanium, or platinum, not titanium, platinum and silver, I believe. And then in the little finding here at the top, or in the setting, let's see if I can bring that in for focus. There we go. That is a pink tourmaline. So I have, pretty much from the time I got this, been wearing it. Excuse me. And I love the energy. I just want to make sure I don't wear it to the point where I get allergic to it, because sometimes that happens for me even with sterling, so I'm giving it a little rest. But I've worn this around the clock for a couple of weeks with no irritation, so I'm very pleased. Usually that's a sign that they're using a really high quality sterling silver, and believe it or not, not all, in my experience, 0.925 sterling silver is of the same quality, which sounds strange. It'll have the same percentage of silver, but what those other percentage points are made of can vary. But this one didn't cause me any irritation, and I loved it so much. I'm probably gonna be putting it back on soon, but there you go. And along with the pendant, they also sent us a piece of let's see if I can do this properly, of the Angel Aura Quartz. And this is like a little cluster. And I have just been, again, really enjoying it. I feel like this crystal has very much, somebody mentioned this actually in a comment, but it very much does have that unicorny energy, which is totally me. I love it, and there will probably be more of this in my crystal collection in the future because I really am in love. So that is my favorite for crystals. Okay, we're getting down there. I think we're getting on to decks and books, or is, oh, well, okay, let me do the thing. Not gonna look. I'm just gonna pull my finger down. And we're closest to books, so let's talk about books. I gotta get some random things out of the way. So I thought I'd approach this section of the favorites video a little bit differently, because typically what I try to do is wait until I finish a book and then talk about it, but I have so much to say about so many books and only one is actually done, and you've heard about it before. So first of all, I'm gonna blend a couple categories really quick. In my random favorites is my new Kindle Paperwhite. So I got this during Amazon Prime days. Now, spoiler, I'm actually not typically an Amazon Prime member, but they offered me a 30-day membership, like to try out or whatever, and I've done those before. And they offered one right around the time of Prime Day. So I was like, okay, free 30-day Prime and save 40 bucks on the Kindle Paperwhite, which I've wanted since these first launched. So I'm really excited. And the book that I finally finished this month is the Raven's Wand. No, sorry. Yeah, book 1, Raven's Wand of the Dark Raven Chronicles. This is the trilogy of books that the Raven's Wand Oracle cards are based on. I have that deck. It is tucked away until I finish the series, and then I will be working with those cards. But I really got sucked into this book, particularly the second half. I just could not put it down. And once I got past that sort of buildup of where we really headed with this story, and I kind of saw what was unfolding, after that I was all in. And it was a little slow going at first for me, but I loved it. It took me, I think, about a total of 8 to 10 hours, like as Kindle tells you, right, of reading to finish it, which for me was a lot because I only read like 20-30 minutes at a time until I got to the last 30% or so, but it was so good. And I'm on to now reading the second book, which is called Flower Fourth or Flowers of Fate. The second book is called Flowers of Fate. So I'm on to that one now. But I did finally officially finish it. Yay! And then the other books I want to talk about are all books I'm currently working my way through. So first one I want to mention is Your Tarot Court by Ethany Dawn. I am enjoying this, but it has been a little slow because I feel like the book itself is really engaging, but I haven't been making a ton of time for really sitting down with it. And it's one of those books that I don't want to just like idly read. I really want to be present for it. And so I've kind of been restricting when I work on this book. But so far it has been really, really marvelous. I'm probably about now, probably about a fifth of the way in, and I'm really enjoying it. And I have to say I'm kind of eager to get into the archetypes section where there's more exercises and such. I'm kind of in the section now where we're learning about the different quartz, and this part is a little familiar, but I'm still enjoying it, and it's really great, especially if you've never ever read a book specifically about the quartz cards. This is so good. And the exercises in the first, like very, very first chapter were super beneficial to me. So I cannot wait to get through the rest of it. I will keep you guys posted. The other book that I'm currently working on, and this is slow going because I need my reading glasses to read the version that I have, but it was inexpensive on Amazon, is Women Who Run with the Wolves. This book is by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. I really need to get out my highlighter because I'm like this teeny amount into this book, and I feel like there's been a bunch of different like sections, phrases, sentences, paragraphs that I want to highlight, and the writing feels very deep, and I feel like there's just these pearls of wisdom just throughout every single page, and the writing is really beautiful. I don't think I've read something where the writing was this, I want to say poetic, and that's maybe it, but it's very visually descriptive. I don't know if that's the right word. Writers in the room, if you know what I'm trying to say, or readers in the room, let me know. But I really have been enjoying this. It's just very rich, kind of like when you have a really decadent dessert and you can't have a lot of it at one time because it's so rich. That's what this is like. It feels spiritually dense material. So if you have finished this book, I would love to hear what you're thinking. But I am actually trying to do this along with Ethany's Awakened Soul Coven book study group. We will see how we go. I think I'm already behind on our prompts, but I'm liking it so far. So I will keep you posted. Another book that I have to share with you because it makes my heart so dang happy is this book, Phoebe and Her Unicorn, A Heavenly Nostrils Chronicle. Yes, this is a children's book. I freaking love it. It is a comic book. But you guys, when I say that this is like absolutely just heartwarming, adorable, humor, cuteness, it is, I love it so much. And a friend of mine actually recommended this book to me, and I looked it up, and I was thinking about picking up a copy, and then she found a copy in her local library where they were pulling it out of rotation or whatever, and so they were offering it for like a steal. So she picked up this used copy for me, and I have like almost gone all the way through it. Like I've only got a tiny bit left, and that's reading just like 10 minutes at a time. It's a real easy, obviously. It's a really easy read, but it's so great. The unicorn's personality, it's basically about a girl whose best friend is a unicorn. The unicorn's personality is so sweet. If you have children who like unicorns, or if you as a grown-up would read this, like I would read this, then I recommend. It's so good. The author is Dana Simpson, and I think it started off of a web comic, so you may be able to find some of the comic strips online. I don't know, but it's good. I like it. And the last book I want to mention, which I'm just beginning to dive into, and I blame this purchase on myself for hitting the button, but I found out about this book from Dawn Michelle over at Boho Tarot. If you are not following Dawn Michelle, check her out. Boho Tarot, her channel is wonderful. She puts a lot of effort into her content. It's very polished. It's really enjoyable to watch. I am over the moon every time she uploads a video. They're just highlights for me, which I guess is a YouTube favorite. See, I can't stay on track. Categories mishmash. But anyway, this Seasonal Soul book is a very spiritually eclectic, like I feel like anybody, any faith, any path could enjoy this, provided that they've got fairly open mind about different types of practices, but it's very non-dogmatic. But it's a book where it's seasonally broken down, so I'm currently working with the summer section. Dawn Michelle does a bit of more showing of this book, but it's really beautifully illustrated throughout. The pages are actually black. It has a really, really nice high-end feel. It's a good size, but it has a section for each season. So summer, it says Run with the Wolves, and that was not lost on me with me reading Women Who Run with the Wolves. I was like, what is the name of the other book? But there's a bunch of beautiful tidbits in here, practices, things that the energy of summer evokes from a food for thought perspective, from a things you might enjoy diving into spiritually or personally. There's a beautiful poem here on self-doubt, with, again, beautiful illustrations. It's as if, to me, it's like personal growth, self-worth, self-love, just juicy little tidbits of things. Like, this is talking about falling off the spiritual wagon, and there's a tidbit here. And who can't relate to doing that, especially like in the summertime when we get distracted with vacations. There's a section in every season called Tools for the Alchemist. So this one is Summer, Tools for the Alchemist. And in summer, there are things like physical, mental, emotional tools that you can explore. There's crystal magic, chakra love, simple chakra, supercharge. I mean, there's, you guys, it's real good. And it's just a joy to flip through. So the section on summer is about that much. And there's a bunch of stuff in the intro that's really, really enjoyable as well. I love having this. This feels like the book, I forget the name of it now. The Big Work by Tiffany Lasik, which is a book I intended to work with this year. This feels like a slightly more digestible, less heady version of the same kind of thing. It's a book you can take with you throughout the year and do certain types of work for that time of year that's sort of in line with the energy of that time of year, and just work through it. So again, this is called The Seasonal Soul, A Mystic's Guide to Inner Transformation by Lauren Aletta. And it is beautiful, recommend. But I'm still just working on it, so that's that. That brings us to some remaining miscellaneous things that I haven't already managed to mention, and then we're going to talk about decks. So for miscellaneous, there's just a few things I want to talk about. The first thing, which I haven't really used much, but I'm still putting it as a favorite because I got it in July, and it is this Paul Rubens little mini watercolor palette, and this is their shimmer colors, and it is the, I cannot math, 24 colors, right? No, 12 colors. God, I can't math. These colors are really, really beautiful. I haven't even done the swatches yet. Oh wait, yes I did. I did do the swatches. So if you are into watercolors, that is what the swatches look like. And they do catch the light really, really pretty. They're more opaque than my other watercolors, so I haven't done a lot with them yet, but they make me really happy, and I'm excited to play with them more. The main watercoloring that I have been doing is in the book that I showed in last month's favorites, and in that book, it's all like wooded, wildlife-y kind of stuff, so I haven't felt called to use the shimmers yet, but I will be digging into those. The other favorite was another birthday present from Peggy, and I am loving the crap out of this. So this is the case for it, and you're like, what is it though? It is this Canon Ivy mini printer. I first found out about the Canon Ivy printer watching Kelly at the Truth in Stories video about her Midori's and her planners. It was like a planner journal update video, and if I think of it, I will put the link to that video up there or down in the description box. This prints sticker pictures, and it is so much fun for using in my traveler's notebook, which I know I said I was going to film a tour of my traveler's notebook, and I haven't yet. It's on my list, I swear. But I have done a lot of really fun things with this printer. So for example, during my birthday week, I have some pictures that I put in my planner. That's me and John. Here's some pictures of, I'll bring you in here, Peggy and John and Peggy and Steve at my birthday dinner. So I've been doing things like that, not a lot. And then for tarot, this is where I've been using it the most. I've done things like I've taken like pictures of spreads and put them in there. And I've been doing a lot of like this kind of thing where like I'm taking pictures And this particular printer lets you put multiple photos in one like collage-y thing and then print. So these ones from the Lightseers Tarot are like, because I printed 4 to a sheet and then cut them out. This one at the bottom is the light and shadow exercise that I did with the Lightseers Tarot. I've got some from the Rebel Tarot. Oops, I dropped my bookmark. But yeah, these are some of these are just half-size stickers. But I've been really enjoying, I better find that bookmark, there we go. I've been really enjoying being able to take pictures of some of my daily draws and that sort of thing and just play with it. I still haven't landed on what my journal, like my weekly tarot journaling is gonna look like with the printer, but I've been using it like a lot. And we're probably gonna be able to use it as well for Peggy with some of her business stuff, so that's really exciting. I've been enjoying the crap out of that. And it's actually not too bad. The papers work out to be, they come in these packs of like 10, but you can actually buy them. Like I bought a box of 50, but they come in little individual packs so that they stay nice and like fresh, I think. But there's no ink. It's called zinc paper. There's zero ink technology. So those are really cool. It's really fun. And I keep it in this case so it can kick around with me during the week when I'm doing random things, and I can just print and put them in my traveler's notebook. So I'll probably talk more about that when I do my, eventually, my traveler's notebook recap tour thing. Yeah. Okay. So one other random thing I wanted to share is this really delightful bag of freshly wild harvested mugwort. This was sent to me by a beautiful subscriber who lives in the Netherlands, and she had talked about mugwort on her channel, and I was like, oh my god, I love mugwort. So I asked her if she would send me some, or she offered to send me some. Somehow that worked out, and I now have it in my hands, and she sent it along with some other really beautiful heartfelt little goodies. I'm keeping it open for now so it can continue to dry out a little bit, but you guys, it smells so good. And I love mugwort. It's probably one of my favorite herbs to work with magically, so I'm so excited to have this in my hands, and there's such a good amount here. I'm gonna have it, be able to work with it for a nice long time, so I'm very pleased. Okay, so let's talk about, oh shoot, I forgot, in crystals. Okay, so this is kind of deck / crystal hybrid in my head somehow, but the other favorite I have for the month are my Onyx Runes. I have really been enjoying working with these. I pulled them out for my last week, well, second to last week of July, and these were just a lot of fun. Oh, that's my blank one. They're really beautiful. I love how easy it is to read or to see the rune. I've seen sets that are lighter, like that are rose quartz, and sometimes they feel like they're hard to see. I love that these are black, and they live in this really adorable little mini Peggy bag that she made me a long time ago, and it's got this really cute like interior, and it's kind of funky satiny, and I love it. So I love these. I've been working with these and enjoying these. Okay, decks. We have so many. Okay, I have like 4, 5. I have some number next to me. So the first one that is probably the deck I've been the most excited for and enjoyed working with the absolute most in July is the Lightseers Tarot. So this is the book. I do not have the box handy, but if you want to see my full like unboxing flip through, I will link that up in the cards. But the book is wonderful. I also reviewed this in my weekly deck reviews, and if I have enough cards at this point in the video, then I'll put that weekly deck review up as well, so you can see my unboxing and also what I thought after I worked with it for a week. But it is so stunning. I absolutely love every single card. I don't even have words, you guys. It's so good. And I don't mean to flaunt this because I know some people are worried they're not going to be able to get it, but there's good news because at the time I'm filming this, Chris Ann Donnelly, who's the artist behind and creator of this deck, does have some extra copies that she plans to sell. There's a wait list you can get on. You might want to check her Instagram, which is at @PixieCurio, or look at her website to see if she's got updates yet. But I believe there's a mailing list to be on the wait list for when these go live for purchase. But this also has been picked up by Hay House for a 2020 Pocket Edition release. So I believe it's going to be either late this year or early next year that you'll be able to see this deck come out in a pocket edition. It will be different, but the artwork should be the same. So maybe a smaller profile for the cards if it's a pocket edition, or like, I don't know, I'm just guessing, but keep an eye out for that if you end up missing out entirely on anything from Chris Am, which is possible because it is a limited run through Kickstarter. But yeah, it's just, look at this Eight of Swords. It's really good. It's really good. And if I had missed this on Kickstarter, and if I was not able to get on a wait list, I will tell you right now, I would have bought the Hay House Pocket Edition in a heartbeat. And there's a really good chance, depending on the format of that Pocket Edition, that I may pick it up anyway, so that I have that Pocket Edition as well. So it's beautiful. I can't say enough good stuff about it, which you will know if you've heard me talk about it so far this month. The other deck that I really enjoyed from a tarot perspective this month was the, I've got it in this Peggy bag, is the Revival Art Tarot by Taroko Studios. There is something so satisfying about this cardstock, and I know that sounds nerdy, you guys. Hold on, I have to have a sip. Look at my baby crush can. It's so cute. I know it sounds nerdy to talk about the cardstock, but it's like when I say that it's like smooth and it shuffles, it like rifle shuffles beautifully, even though it's matte. It doesn't clump. It like bends the right amount, but it doesn't hold like a big bow in it. Like there's a bit of a bow, which I actually really love, but it's really mild. When I say that I just love this deck, I mean, I really love it. It's the first fine art deck that I've really thoroughly not only enjoyed looking at and using, but that I found really usable to read really well. It's so good. Did I even say the name? It's the Revival Art Tarot. Just in case I didn't say it already. What I like the most about it, after looking at a lot of walkthroughs and reviews of fine art decks, one thing that I noticed people saying a lot is that the images can be a little bit blurry because they're based on paintings. When those images get scanned in, sometimes they can be not quite as sharp or vivid to look at, and these don't have that problem. The other issue I've had with some of the other fine art decks that I have either seen or owned is that sometimes the fonts and the overlay stuff has been distracting from the image itself, and this is not that way. The fonts and the titles and the borders, these delicate like borders, are really elegant, and they thematically just work with the deck so well. So love this deck. I didn't love the backings at first, but they've really grown on me, so I really do like them. This, again, stunning deck. I did hear a funny story from somebody online who had ordered this deck somehow through Amazon and ended up with kind of a funky printing issue where the cards were off center. No, it wasn't this deck. I apologize. It was the Victorian Tarot by the same people. I'm a little dubious about that because everybody I know who's ordered directly from this creator on Etsy, because this is an independently created deck, has said that they've had a beautiful edition. So if you're not sure, I would say go through Etsy and buy from Taroko Studios on Etsy rather than Amazon. I just think it's too easy for copycat sellers to end up on Amazon, and I don't always trust that. Yeah, so just that would be my tip. If you're not sure, after I saw that review of somebody having an off-center deck and then not getting a great response from whomever was running that particular shop, and I'm not sure if it was, like, if it was these creators, then they didn't respond very well. If it wasn't them, and this is the thing with Amazon, sometimes it's hard to tell. So buy from Etsy, Taroko Studios. Beautiful deck, love it so much. Okay, I've got a couple Oracle things to talk about, and then that is it. So the main Oracle deck that blew my socks off this month, as always, is the Illuminated Earth Tarot, or Oracle rather, by Claire Mack. This is probably a forever favorite. The imagery is a little bit obscure at times, but it makes sense. Some of it is a little bit less, most of it's not very peoply, but there are some peoply cards. It's very nature-based, it's very earthy, just like the title suggests, and it's very balanced. So if you want an oracle that has light and shadow, this is one of my #1 recommendations. This one and Oracle of Echoes, and now the Healers of the Earth Oracle are in my top for balanced Oracle decks. I really love this. It's a joy to work with. It reads really well in any circumstance. I can read this deck like a tarot deck. I can use it for one card draws. I can use it for multiple card draws, and it just performs for me really well. I edged my copy in this really dark blue. This is what the backings look like, and it comes in a really nice sturdy box. I keep it in its box and then in a Peggy bag, of course, so it can hang on my rack. So that has been a joy. And the next thing I want to talk about are two decks by the artist Deja Druitt. Now, I've had the first deck for quite a long time, and some of you who have had readings from me will recognize this one, but it is the My Quality Time Oracle deck, Self-Care Oracle deck. So these are what the backings look like. They have this really beautiful hourglass symbol with a moon up here. And this is basically a self-care deck. So each card represents a type of self-care. So you guys know this is a topic that I'm passionate about. I think self-care is really important. And I use this deck every time I do one of my chakra self-care readings, which are up in my Etsy shop, which is always linked in the description box down below if you're ever curious about getting one of those types of readings from me, or any type of reading from me, I should say. But what I like to do is I keep this deck out on my crystal working altar, and I will shuffle it and I'll just pull a card and I'll try to be mindful of that type of self-care for the day. So it can be anything from, say, hair, which can be just as simple as remembering to wash your hair, or maybe do something nice with it, or brush it, or, you know, whatever it is, to things like flirt, you know, be more aware of your sensuality that day, reach out, right? So a little bit of socializing, ritual. And I use these as jumping off points. So I might not literally do the activity that's on the card. I might think of something that makes me think of and do that. So learn, I would take some time to read or to study. So I really, really enjoy that. It came in a little tuck box, which I'm not a fan of. And it just came with like a little like fold open one piece of paper pamphlet that just gives you some suggestions for each one of the self-care activities. So I keep that handy, but I keep this out, and I had been waiting for her other deck to come out, and it finally did. I had backed this on Indiegogo quite some time ago, but it is the Personal Power deck, and it is the same size. So these are Trump size cards. So they're littler. Let me see. The Light Seers is a standard tarot deck. So here's a Light Seers Tarot, and here's the My Quality Time. So you can see it's shorter and narrower than a standard tarot, but I really like the size actually. They're really easy to handle. In the Personal Power deck, the production value went way up. So the box is absolutely beautiful. It's a sturdy box with the magnetic flap opening, so it opens that way. You've got this really bright fuchsia inside. You are very powerful, provided you know how powerful you are. This one comes with a little chunk of a guidebook, which is wonderful. The backings are what look to me to be stylized mirrors. And I haven't actually had this deck very long, but I've been anticipating it for a long time. The edges are this beautiful fuchsia that matches the fuchsia you see on the mirror line work there. And these cards are very much self-worth based. So they each feature a figure. There's a ton of wonderful diversity, as you saw in the My Quality Time Self-Care deck as well. The Personal Power deck, each one features a figure like a woman. They're all feminine figures, so just know that going in. And this one is I Am a Problem Solver. It says that on her choker necklace there. And each one has a different positive affirmation about self-worth. So this one is I am fearless. And the images really graphically, I think, do a beautiful job of conveying that message as well. I am celebrated. I can't read these in my viewfinder. I am divinely guided. I gotta show you one of my favorites because I'm me and I have to. I love this. I release what doesn't serve me. Beautiful. If you guys want to see me do a walkthrough with my thoughts on these, let me know and I will do that. Uh-oh. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Okay, there. Perfect. Love this one, of course. I am good enough. But what I do is I have this one and the self-care deck side by side on my crystal altar. And so when I'm shuffling them at the same time, and I draw a card for each and I keep it face up on that altar to just sort of remind me, right, to continue along my self-worth, self-care path. Love this chakra one. I'm a healer. I keep trying to flip them the wrong way when I put them down. Why, Lisa? I am passionate. Love that. And these phrases are relatable, right? This is my favorite, of course. I am beautiful. I love that. So really, really wonderful. This is from the image. I think we had a postcard of this one. I love this one too. I am hopeful. I really thoroughly enjoy this. This is definitely a deck that will always be out in my working spaces so that I can reach for it at any time. And the guidebook that comes with it is actually really, really good. I've done a fair amount of work with it, but for every card you have sort of a really nice little entry about that topic. And then you have some journal prompts. You guys know I'm all about that life. And some keywords and a description of the actual artwork. So it's really, really useful to work with in a mindful way. If you are on a self-worth path, self-worth journey, this is definitely a go-to. And I don't think you would regret having this in your collection at all if that is something you're working with. If you are a boy and you don't mind them being all female images, then go for it. But that is one thing. I wish that there was a deck like this that was either gender inclusive or was for guys, because I think we see a lot of this messaging focusing exclusively. Oh my God, my voice just went. One moment. We see a lot of these messages focusing exclusively on women, and I think that men struggle with this same stuff too. And while I love and treasure this deck, I would also like to see a male version of this or a mixed gender version of something similar. So artists, remember our men and our guys, and they struggle with self-image and self-worth and body image stuff too. So just a note on that. But I still love these so, so much, because for me, they're for my personal practice. I do use these with clients. I have a self-worth reading, I have a self-care reading, so these are just gonna be a part of my toolkit. But I probably, if I was reading for a male client, would not reach for these decks. So just a note. But I have other decks I would reach for. So, you guys, Shayla's behind me, super relaxed. And I'm pretty sure she just farted because the entire room smells bad now. You're welcome for sharing that. On that note, this has been my July favorites. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I apologize because this is a very long one. I can tell it's probably around the 40-45 minute mark, but thank you for hanging out with me. I love doing these. I love watching these. So don't forget to let me know down below if you have or are about to do one yourself, because I love to watch those. Don't forget, people, if you like Instagram, if that's your like social media of choice, you can do favorites on Instagram too. And if you do, let me know and I will go check it out. So thanks again for hanging out with me, and I will see you all again very, very soon.